This pursuit was not confined to dusty tomes or archaeological digs. It manifested in terrifyingly concrete forms, blurring the line between occult ritual and cutting-edge science. The most infamous of these manifestations was Die Glocke, the bell. Described in fragmented, haunting testimonies from Polish witnesses and SS officers, this device was no conventional weapon. It was a bell-shaped object, approximately 12 feet in diameter, constructed from a heavy purplish-gray metal and filled with a mysterious, violet, mercury-like substance dubbed Zerum 525. When activated, two counter-rotating cylinders within the bell would spin at incredible speeds, emitting a piercing, buzzing hum and casting a pulsating, phosphorescent glow that would fill the underground chamber. The effects were reportedly horrifying and otherworldly. Plants and animals exposed to its energy field would rapidly decompose, their cellular structure turning into a gray, gelatinous goo. Metals would crystallize and become brittle. Test subjects, prisoners from nearby camps, would suffer convulsions, their blood coagulating into strange fibrous structures before a painful death. The scientists, protected by lead-lined suits and working in short, frantic bursts, reported sensations of vertigo, metallic tastes in their mouths, and disturbing temporal disorientations, as if time itself was fluctuating within the bell's sphere of influence. What was its true purpose? The theories are as chilling as the descriptions. Some believe it was an attempt to create a revolutionary propulsion system, an anti-gravity engine that could render Allied radar useless and allow for the creation of flying saucer-like craft, a concept that fueled post-war UFO mythology. Others, considering the Thule Society's obsession with Hyperborean gateways and dimensional portals, suggest a far more esoteric goal. That Die Glocke was not a machine in the conventional sense, but a technological ritual, a device designed to warp the fabric of space-time itself. It was perhaps an attempt to open a gateway to Agartha, to travel through time to correct the mistakes of the war, or to communicate with those higher beings from Thule lore. The project was housed in a secret, concrete-lined complex known as the Henge, near the Wenceslas mine, a location chosen for its geological stability and deep secrecy. As the Soviet army closed in, the device was allegedly evacuated, and the scientists and documentation associated with it vanished into the fog of history, some likely absorbed into the victor's own black projects under Operation Paperclip and its Soviet equivalents. The legacy of this fusion of dark mysticism and technological ambition did not die in the ashes of Berlin. It fragmented and metastasized. The core ideology of the Thule Society, the belief in a hidden master race, the pursuit of arcane power, and the methodology of using ritual and symbolism to program consciousness, found new hosts. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, esoteric Nazi ideologies, or esoteric Hitlerism, have experienced a resurgence within the dark corners of the Internet and in the ideology of certain neo-fascist groups. These modern inheritors speak of Aryan Hyperborean physics, engage in runic meditation to awaken ancestral memory, and see in the black sun not just a historical symbol, but an active sigil of resistance against a modern world they deem degenerate. They have adopted the language of conspiracy theory, framing their struggle as an escape from the matrix of a globalist, Zionist-controlled simulation. The pendulum that swung in that Berlin villa now swings in the digital realm, its rhythm adapted to the algorithms of social media and the encrypted channels of online forums, waiting for the moment to complete the ritual that began over a century ago. The year is 1920. Berlin. A vast villa, shrouded in fog. In the basement, men in black robes stand in a circle. On the floor, a massive symbol, a swastika, encircled by ancient runes. Candles flicker. Under the dome, a suspended metal pendulum turns slowly. They are not merely discussing politics. They are conducting a ritual. This is the Thule Society, the semi-secret, esoteric nucleus from which the most terrifying regime of the 20th century would grow. The Reich, the SS, the entire system of destruction, all began not with a political plan, but with a myth. The Thule Society was an elitist occult group obsessed with the origin of the Aryan race. They believed their ancestors came from Hyperborea, a mythical northern civilization that possessed superior knowledge and technology. They were not seeking historical truth, but power, the higher power of their bloodline, a dormant energy they sought to awaken. Their symbol, the swastika, was an ancient artifact they viewed as a key to eternal motion and solar energy. The members were not mere eccentrics. They were bankers, aristocrats, and former officers, the very men who would later form the backbone of the Nazi Party, including Alfred Rosenberg, Dietrich Eckart, and a young Adolf Hitler, who absorbed this toxic blend of mythology and resentment. Thule's ideology held that Germany's future depended on a return to a pure race. They studied runic magic and Norse mythology, practicing rituals to contact higher beings, Aryan warrior spirits. They believed Aryans possessed latent abilities like telepathy and clairvoyance, which could be unlocked through occult means. It was the Thule Society that financed and infiltrated the obscure German Workers' Party, which within a few years transformed into the National Socialist German Workers' Party. It adopted the swastika as its sacred emblem and a racial doctrine as its core creed. This was no longer just politics, it was becoming a fanatical religion. Heinrich Himmler, head of the SS, was utterly consumed by this mythology. He transformed Wewelsburg Castle into the occult heart of the Third Reich. In its dungeons, initiation rituals for high-ranking SS officers were performed. The centerpiece was the Black Sun, a symbol of 12 radiating sig runes representing the hidden source of Aryan power. Here, they employed astrology, magical circles, and meditative practices, attempting to recreate ancient Germanic rites. This was a state-sanctioned quest for supernatural power. Secret Thule documents spoke of contact with higher Aryan beings from another planet or from the inner earth, realms like Agartha or Shambhala. This belief fueled real expeditions to the remote mountains of Tibet and the icy wastes of Antarctica, not just for conquest, but in a desperate search for portals to other dimensions or the lost homeland of their superhuman ancestors. This esoteric pursuit culminated in projects like Die Glocke, the bell. Described in fragmented post-war testimonies, this device was a bell-shaped object that allegedly produced anti-gravity effects, distorted time, and emitted deadly radiation. Was it a wonder weapon, a time machine, or an attempt to breach the veil to another reality? The scientists involved vanished or died under mysterious circumstances, leaving the project as the regime's most enigmatic and terrifying secret. After 1945, the Thule Society's archives were looted by Soviet and American intelligence services under operations like Paperclip. While Himmler and Hitler were gone, their ideology did not die. The theory persists that remnants of Thule escaped to South America, or established a hidden base in Antarctica. Neuschwabenland, Base 211, from which strange signals are still rumored to originate. Since the 1990s, groups calling themselves the heirs of Thule have emerged in the digital underground. Their closed forums preach the activation of Aryan DNA, study psychotronic weapons, and use variations of the old runic symbols. These symbols now reappear at far-right rallies and in the cryptic imagery of online subcultures. Thule never vanished. It simply evolved, adapting its ancient hatreds for a new era.